Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozark Outpost. This is Global War 85, Operation Escobar, NATO 8.2. Okay, tech. PGM, advanced logistics, long-range missiles, advanced sonar. Yes on PGM and sonar, no on the other two. PGM goes to stage 2. Advanced sonar is complete. Will that change the NATO strategy? Not this turn, I don't think. They're frying other fish. Okay. There's no global operations. There's nothing further to release. So there's no military aid. Right into regular purchase. For 4 battle stars and 1 IPP, they're going to do a minor army base upgrade. For 8, they're buying 4 paramilitary. 14 on a pair of MBTs and a fighter. 18 on 2 next-gen MBTs and 2 next-gens and 2 MBTs, I think. Let's see, what do we got there? 2 next-gen MBTs and 2 self-propelled artillery for 18. And then 13 on 2. That can't be right. No, that isn't right. Let me see what I got going on here. Okay, I miscalculated. The SAM comes off. Now I can pick it up. Okay, let's make that 12 on 2 fighters. And then they're going to save 1. How's that? That sounds good. And then they're building 5 cruise missiles and 2 anti-ship missiles. Just 2 anti-ship missiles because northern Germany and its major shipyard have been captured by Warsaw Pact. Okay, combat movement. A bit. Okay, from the carrier in A40, 2 ASFs and an attack bomber take off, and they're flying into Extremadura for a surgical strike. Satellite support for the surgical strike. The strategic bomber from southern France flies 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, no, let's finish this package first. So you got those guys coming from the carrier. Then you have a fighter from southern France. He has a radius of 2 plus 1 for the airbase. 1, 2, he can get in there. He's flying seed. Fighter from Paris, 1, 2, 3. He's got the air movement bonus. He's into Extremadura. He's also flying seed. Then from Picardy, okay, you can see Picardy. We have 2 attack bombers and an F-117. The shortest radius would be the F-117 at 3, but he also gets air movement bonus for the base. So 1, 2, 3, that's all they need anyway. The F-117 comes in, as does these two attack bombers to join the surgical strike in Extremadura. That's what goes on there. And I just remembered last turn on Warsaw Pact, while I was doing the planning, I reminded myself to use the SR-71 in defense in one of those battles, and forgot again. Sometime next year, I might remember those SR-71s. Okay, that's Extremadura. Then the strategic bomber from southern France flies 1, 2, 3, 4 over here to A32. His combat radius is 7. He's going to shoot a pair of cruise missiles into Portugal in a surgical strike. From this fleet card here, we've got a cruiser and a destroyer that are each shooting a cruise missile into Portugal in surgical strike. And that's it for there. We come over here, just because they feel like it. The major air base in Marmara, using its GLCM range bonus of 1, shoots a cruise missile 1-2 into Greece in a surgical strike. And then the cruiser and destroyer in M10 are each shooting an anti-ship missile at the Soviet Black Sea Fleet in M11. And there's a cruiser and 3 frigates there, but only 2 can pair, so the Soviets will have 3 AMD shots there in the Black Sea. Given that he would be up against 2 ASFs, the EGF there in Extremadura is not going to scramble. And I think we're okay then. That's all the combat movement. So let's start with the ASM strike in the Black Sea. So we've got 2 anti-ship missiles coming in. So there's 2 missile defense shots from that Soviet fleet. No, wait. They get 3. They're for fleet missile defense, you get to roll however many dice you qualify for. You're not limited by the number of weapons being shot at you. So here's 3 missile defense shots. And both ASMs are shot down. So no joy there. Now in Greece, there is just a single cruise missile coming in, so that SAM is restricted to 1 AMD shot. He misses. There's the cruise missile. And he gets a hit. So, Warsaw Pact will elect to take the hit on one of their paramilitaries. All right, now we're going to have the surgical strike in Portugal. That's 4 cruise missiles going in and no missile defense for Warsaw Pact. And there's 2 hits. Well, that works out because in that zone there were 2 targets. So those are both gone. Now we're going to have the action in Extremadura. So we have 2 fighters on seed. that get to shoot at that SAM with spy satellite to try to kill it before it gets to shoot air defense. So here's the seed mission. Well, 1-6 will do it, so that SAM is destroyed. Let me take him off there. SAM is kaput. Okay, now there are, as I said, the early gen fighter decided not to scramble. It looked like a suicide mission to him. So now there are three attack bombers and an F-117 coming in, all rolling 7s in surgical strike. And there are 3 hits. 3 hits. Well, what does Warsaw Pact want to do? Well, the choices are pretty limited. They're going to have to take field artillery, an MBT, and a next-gen MBT, leaving them a next-gen MBT and an early-gen fighter. They're in Extremadura. Now that one gets NATO 2 air battle stars, since they destroyed 3 land units in a surgical strike. All right, that is going to be it for combat. So let's get these arrows out of the way and declutter a bit. Now we're going to have some non-combat movement. Okay, these guys land back on their carrier. The 2 fighters here are going to move 1 and land in Catalonia. They're both going to land in Catalonia. Okay, these 2 land-based attack bombers in the F-117 will fly 1, 2, 3 to Paris. And the strategic bomber will fly back to southern France where he came from. All right, the 2 MBTs from southern France move 1 into Catalonia. The fleet and the sub-force here in A5 comes back down here to A6. The destroyer that is in port in Scotland comes out of port and joins the fleet. That now gives that fleet a supercarrier, a cruiser, 2 destroyers, and 2 frigates, and the submarine force. The amphib will remain. Will he remain? No, the amphib is actually going to come out of port and join the fleet, because he has a hell of a lot more missile defense with the fleet than he does in that minor shipyard. Okay, so that's that. Now, NATO is going to evacuate Denmark. So the SAM is going to come out of the major port on the A11 side. 1, 2, 3 over here, and he will go back. He will enter Benelux through the minor shipyard there. The 3 mechs leave by the major port on the A10 side. 1, 2, and they enter Benelux via the major port. So 3 mechs becomes a green chip under this guy. Clean these up. Then the self-propelled artillery moves 1 into Benelux. Oi! Knocking everything over. Get that goddamn thing out of the way. The 2 MBTs move 1 into Benelux. So this is going to become a green chip under him. And that Sam's going to move into Benelux. So that's going to be actually, let's get a chip there. That's 2 Sam's in Benelux. And I believe that's going to be it for non-combat movement. Let me have a quick look at the notes and make sure. To Catalonia, to Benelux, to Benelux. Yep, that's it for non-combat movement. So now we're going to place units. Let's see here. Make sure I'm grabbing the right stuff. Yeah, I'll just go slower with less stuff so I don't get mixed up. Okay, the Army base upgrade is going here to Picardy. Let's turn that so you can see a little better. And the 2 fighters are built in Picardy. Then fix that one. Something ain't right. Okay, I gotta go back and get that. Now we're square. All right, 2 MBTs and a fighter are built down here in southern France. Put that over there. And then in Rhineland, this card here, we're building 2 more self-propelled artillery and 2 more next-gen MBTs. So that's now 5 next-gen MBTs there, 8 self-propelled artillery. And then after the success, these may not be completely necessary, but why take chances you don't have to? 2 paramilitaries to Gibraltar. Those become a red chip. And just because you never know exactly how things are going to go. Yeah. 2 paramilitaries to Catalonia. Okay, that's all units placed. Money, as we said earlier, NATO is now at 46. Plus the one they saved will give them 47 for their next turn. And 2 battle stars in the bank. And then they built 5 cruise missiles and 2 more anti-ship missiles. There's that. Ozark Outpost. Over and out.